The 2-1 New York Giants, led by Eli Manning, comes to the Twin Cities in the U.S. Bank Stadium to fight the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. We'll get it started. And this is to watch Jado Z. Unlike last week, this is the week of two completely different teams. The New York Giants, of course, a high-powered passing offense, throwing it deep to Odell Beckham and Victor Cruz, led by an experienced quarterback and an iffy defense. The Vikings, on the other hand, have probably the best defense in the league, headed by Harrison Smith, Linval Joseph, Everson Griffin, Anthony Barr, and others. Plenty of defensive depth there, and offense that gets it done, doesn't rely on the big plays, just consistent plays, no turnovers, and solid production by the offense. So how this game goes really comes down to, can the defense do just as good as they've been doing, and it should be no problem for Minnesota. With the way the Giants are right now, it's can you contain Odell Beckham Jr.? If he takes over the game, it can be a long day for the Vikings secondary. But with the likes of Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, all those guys locking down the back end of the field, I think we should have no problem with there. The matchups where they could take advantage and rip us apart would be if they can somehow get one-on-one coverage on Andrew Sendejo, possibly the weakest link on the Vikings defense. That is the one spot where I could see big plays happening, play actions where we blitz, we don't get there, and he throws it deep one-on-one on Sendejo. So if we limit that, we should have a very good day defensively. If we get 8 sacks on Cam Newton, I don't see why we can't do any better this week. The only thing that the Giants have that the Panthers offense doesn't is much better receivers. So maybe not as many coverage sacks, but I would still look for over 5 sacks in this game as well. But don't be surprised if we get up to 8, just like last week. And another big day for our defensive line. Now, offensively, this looks like to be a perfect time to show that Sam Bradford's first performance against the Packers wasn't a fluke. He's again going to be home in the U.S. Bank Stadium. He'll have plenty of time under his belt with the inexperienced secondary that the Giants have, and their pass rush isn't that good. We should have plenty of time for Sam Bradford to pick apart the secondary and prove that his first game wasn't just a fluke. Look for Stephon Diggs to get over 100 yards again. This is the game for Charles Johnson to prove that he's worthy of the number 2 slot. Otherwise, I would not mind if Adam Thielen keeps moving up the depth chart and takes over that role, and maybe eventually Laquan Treadwell can get there as well. Much like last year, for a lot of you worried Vikings fans, Stephon Diggs was inactive for about a quarter of the year, then came on and had a strong second half. I would expect about the same for Treadwell. Maybe sooner than later, since he was a first-round pick, as Diggs was the 5th. So look for maybe Treadwell getting sprinkled into the offense a bit more as the season progresses. And for the running game, this should be another good game for McKinnon. If you remember last year, McKinnon had about a 60-yard run against the Giants after we already ran up the scoreboard. So look for McKinnon to have a chance to really show some guys that the Vikings have more depth at running back than just Adrian Peterson. I wouldn't be surprised if McKinnon, or at least our combined running group of McKinnon, Asiata, and Hillman, combined for over 100 yards on the ground. Should be a very good game there. So that the Vikings contain Odell Beckham, if we can get a good offense going, it should be a very easy game to keep. Now with the Vikings, a blowout isn't necessarily over 35 points like what the Eagles did to the Steelers last week, but a 14-17 point lead and the game ends is a blowout when you're looking at the Vikings defense, because a 14-point lead is a mountain of points to get across against the Vikings D that allows 10 points against last year's MVP, and I believe 17 points against the Packers. So with all that happening, I don't see the Giants scoring any more than 20. But look for them maybe 14 in that realm, and I think the Vikings should be well into the mid-20s in this game ends. So maybe final score 28-14 Minnesota. maybe more than that. But we'll see. Vikings fans, you can't put this game in your back pocket and already count it as a win, as the Giants are a very competitive team with lots of talent, mostly on the offensive side of the ball. And Eli Manning can work his magic when he's on, so this could end up being a good game. But with the way our defense has been playing, if we don't have a fluke anywhere, any big injuries, I expect a pretty big lopsided win from Minnesota. So if you guys think this is a good review and the story about what you think, like this video. If you think it should be a different score, if you're a Giants fan and like discrediting your team too much, comment down below. We'll see you guys in the next Minnesota Vikings video.